Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Steins. In the last episode, Rintaro Okabe had finally broken down Moeka Kiryu's mental defenses and learned that she was indeed the one who stole the IBN 5100 and delivered it to FB, and thus to CERN. And because of her loyalty, she has been completely abandoned by both CERN and FB. The thing is, though, we managed to get a hold of her phone and find the D-mail in question that changed the past, and we sent a counter D-mail in response, and yet nothing has happened. I would say that we're too far away from the phone wave TBA, but if you recall, in the instance of both Ferris and, in the instance of Ferris, we were standing in her apartment, and in the case of Rukiko, we were standing at Yanabayashi Shrine. Both of these locations were as far away from the lab as you could possibly be, and yet the past still changed. So, something weird is happening here. Not this time, Kurisu.
そんなはずはない。萌香の D メールの内容も確認済みだ。それを否定するメールを送った。
Or maybe there's something else at work here. Remember the fact that of Daru's D-mail to himself regarding the Ferris Cup. Daru sent himself the exact location of the playing pieces that Ferris had. Yet if you recall, that D-mail was not enough to change divergence, and as a result, Daru still got his ass handed to him in Rynet access battlers by none other than Ferris and Yan Yan. Maybe the D-mail we sent wasn't enough to attract Moeka's attention. Maybe she was suspicious of it.
最初の D メールの内容は
柳林神社に IBN5100 があると知らせるものだ。今のメールでそれは罠だと否定したんだが。
So once again, there is something at work here, keeping us from getting the IBN 5100 so easily.
もう一度別の文面で再送を。
待った。D メールの面倒な部分についてはロト6の実験で検証済みでしょ。
A Lotto 6 experiment. Of course, I'd completely forgotten about that. I sent myself the winning numbers, but the past me didn't buy the ticket. Instead, he gave the winning numbers to Rukiko.
D メールを読んだ人間がその通りに行動するかどうかは個人の資質に影響される。
Indeed. It's up to the receiver of the D-mail whether or not to act on that information. And if that's the case...
神社に IBN5100 があると知らされた。直後にそれを否定するメールが来ても構わず神社へ行ったという推測が導ける。
That basically puts us in a big
否定するメールを信じなかったか。あるいはクソ真面目に否定されても念のために調べてみたかということか。
Either way, we're once again up the proverbial creek. I glance at Moeka. She's still hanging her head, but her tears have run dry. I wonder if she's listening.
厄介ね。神社に調べに行くことにリスクが発生すると伝えても聞いてくれなかったっていうことだから。
That is a serious problem.
より強制力の強い文面にするしかない。神社に行くのを禁止させるぐらいの。
どうやって？
I honestly have no idea, and in fact, I doubt that such a message would persuade her anyway. That's the problem. Is it possible to persuade her with just 36 bytes of text? Or should we consider other possibilities?
例えば7月30日のお礼と D メールを送り先に IBN5100 を回収させるという方法は
その日のあんたは IBN5100 に興味があったのか？
That is a very good point, Kurisu. When did I start caring about the IBN 5100? I can't remember. Fine, that's out. So how do I convince Moeka to listen? At that moment, an electric shock runs through my brain. 2 initials.
FB だ
The one person that Moeka trusts above all else, the one person that she would listen to, even other than herself.
何？
萌歌の上司依存の対象 FB からのメールなら無条件で信じるはず
But that would mean we have to actually find FB and get FB's phone. If we do succeed, then obviously we will change the past because Moeka will never refuse an order from FB no matter what it says. Unfortunately, we need to find FB, and even as mentally exhausted as Moeka is, I doubt she would give that gold nugget up willingly.
その FB とかいう人の携帯持ってるの？
That's the only drawback, Kurisu.
いいや会ったことさえないどこにいるかもわからない
We do know that the IBN was dropped off at the coin locker at Daibiru.
話にならない。
少し時間をくれ
See if we
待
can...
たせるのか？私はずっとラボに泊まり込んでるからいいけど。
Well, not to be overdramatic, Kurisu, but I would definitely say that the fate of existence weighs on our ability to get the IBN 5100.
あんまり無茶しないでね。
And I doubt that pulling all-nighters is the equivalent of going back through time countless times in order to save the person that you actually want to save. So even after prying answers out of Moeka, there's still more work to be done. Fate really does seems to love getting in my way. Alright, to break out of this world line, I need FB's location and identity. I call Moeka's name. When she finally looks up, I drop her phone onto her lap. She accepts it with a confused expression. Well, we no longer need your phone.
FB を探すことになった
And we are not going to let you refuse. Moeka grips her phone, but she doesn't look at the screen. I sigh deeply. I need to get as much information on FB out of her as I can, which is probably not a lot.
お前はどういう経緯でラウンダーに
Starting from the beginning, I suppose. Honestly, I couldn't care less about Moeka's backstory. I hate having to stand here and talk with the woman who killed Mayuri. Unfortunately, that's what we need to do. Hugging her phone to her chest, Moeka retrieves her glasses and puts them back on.
4年前死のうとしてた。
So 4 years ago, she attempted to commit suicide. Her voice is a barely audible whisper. For a moment I'm surprised he's not talking by mail. Probably could have gotten the whole story out of the way actually, but never mind.
何の希望も 持てなくて何もかもが嫌になって。
So for all intents and purposes, Moeka Kiryu turned her back on the world.
原因は
特にこれっていうのは
Her expression is blank, lifeless, like always. So she simply decided that life wasn't worth living, it seems. But behind her glasses, her eyes are red from crying. They're the only trace of emotion on her doll-like face.
でも小さなことがたくさん積み重なってもともとこんな性格だし。
That is a very severe personality disorder you have there.
家族は
Moeka shakes her head a little, and I remember the cop from the other worldline saying that she had absolutely no relatives whatsoever. She has none, I guess. Nobody went to her funeral, not CERN, not FB, no one. I don't bother asking whether she ever had parents, it really doesn't matter at this
自
point.
分の部屋で睡眠薬大量に飲んで
And I suspect that you were planning on doing that again in the next 4 days.
でも死ぬのを失敗して
Depression is a very, very serious illness.
そこにメールがラウンダー募集って個人宛てじゃなくて一斉送信の
That's rather, what's the word I'm looking for? That's for CERN to send out recruiting emails to hundreds of people. That's a bit sloppy of them. Isn't that spam? Do the rounders really recruit like that?
私
They
は
probably do.
どうでもよくなってた。だから気づいたら返信してた。
So apparently Moeka replied anyway.
そしたら連絡が来たの。
And that was her first contact with the mysterious FB.
それからずっと FB の指示に従ってた。
So that's how CERN operates with its rounders. They send emails to either cold, money-grubbing mercenaries or guns for hire, and people with severe social disabilities that who can be eliminated at a moment's notice.
ずっとこの秋葉に
Moeka shakes her head. So apparently she's been all throughout Japan.
3ヶ月前まで名古屋、その前は横浜、その前は
All the while doing CERN's bidding through FB. The Rounder's chief duty is to acquire IBN 5100s. I guess they had her traveling all over Japan, digging up info on retro PCs.
これまでに IBN5100 をいくつ見つけた
1台も
Really? Searching all throughout the world, and not even one IBN? Sounds like CERN is spending a lot of effort for not much return. You would have thought they would have found several IBNs on the market. I mean, somebody would have sold them. One, at least. I sigh deeply once again. It actually depends on how many of them were actually manufactured,
どうする
actually.
つもりだただ絶望に打ちひしがれて 予定通り自殺するか？
Unfortunately, Moeka isn't aware of the fact that she is going to die regardless of whether or not she commits suicide, but we don't need to tell her that she still has a death sentence.
抗おうとは思わないのか？
抗う
It's certainly better than nothing. Even as I ask the question, I know that for her, rebellion is impossible. This worldline has already approved her death. She's in the same situation as Mayuri now. No matter what she does, she will die. And yet she still has she has a small window of opportunity to do something. I know that, and yet I ask the question.
FB はお前を利用し見捨てた。それを認めろ。その上で FB に対してどうしたいと考えているんだ。
We should probably also mention the fact that we are basically trying to stop CERN's totalitarian dystopia, but she probably doesn't care about that. Moeka looks down.
利用されていたとしても私の居場所そこしかなかったから。
That isn't entirely true. There is another place, much as it pains me to admit it. The Future Gadget Laboratory. The very place that you yourself betrayed.
初めてだった。生きてきた中で自分が必要とされたこと。FB が居場所を与えてくれたの。私にその居場所を守るためなら生きがいを与えてくれた FB を守るな。何だってする。
You poor, naive, trusting fool.
お前は救いようのないバカだ。
Indeed she is, beyond hope, beyond salvation. You truly are a lost cause, Moeka Kiryu. I stand up.
だったら依存したまま死んでいけ。お前の死は確定している。だが俺は世界の思い通りになっていいとは思わない。だから徹底的に抗う。
Rebelling against CERN, rebelling against the worldlines, perhaps even rebelling against Steins itself, if it means saving Mayuri. Just a little bit more. I can't give up now. We've never been closer to our goal. I can almost touch it, but not yet. It's midnight, and Akihabara is practically empty. The silence is eerie. There's no sign of anyone near the coin locker. Considering the IBN's size, it couldn't fit in the regular sized lockers, so it would only fit in one of the 3 lockers along the right hand side, and only then in the bottom right locker. The bottom locker is still in use. Is the IBN inside? My heart starts pounding my chest. I feel my face grow hot with excitement. We've been apart for far too long, my partner, but now only a thin locker door separates us. Maybe it is, Rintaro. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that the locker has an alarm system. I force myself to consider the situation calmly. Is the IBN really inside? I want to check right this instant. I can't believe I forgot to ask Moeka which locker she used. Should I get a crowbar or something to pry the locker open? If these lockers are alarmed, and I'm pretty sure they very well might be, the security might arrive and they will keep us from the IBN 5100, in which case we will need to find another plan of attack. If the IBN really is inside and I steal it, what happens to the worldline? I've yet to cancel all the D-mails, which I thought was the only way to restore the original worldline. But now the IBN's so close, why can't I reach out and take it? I know how to cancel Moeka's D-mail, so I can always do that if this doesn't work. Let's try it, just to make sure. First, I make a quick visit to the lab. Ignoring the complaints of the lab members who stayed awake in the lab all night, I retrieve a makeshift crowbar from the development room. Probably should have had that on hand during the CERN raid. Then I return to the lockers and thrust the pointed tip of the crowbar into the crack of the door. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be that easy. Just as I begin to pry, a shrill siren shatters the night. I look up to see the red lights of a patrol car coming this way. Their timing couldn't have been worse. Yeah. The police released me after 30 minutes of scolding. I return to the coin locker and try to pry it open again. Immediately, another patrol car appears. This time, they take me to the police station. Seems like every time we barely try to pry it open, a patrol car appears. I'm stuck in an interrogation room all night, getting preached to by policemen. I conclude that this is another effect of attractor field convergence, which means we need to find FB and get that phone. No matter what I do, I cannot obtain an IBN 5100 on this world line. That is what fate has decreed. That sucks. I get the police to call my father and they finally release me. They didn't go so far as to arrest me, but the policemen, as well as my father, scold me harshly. I act apologetic, but in actuality their words fall on deaf ears. After my father goes home, I head straight to Moeka's apartment. I tried calling her. I took the opportunity to memorize her phone yesterday, but she wouldn't pick up at all. She doesn't do phone calls. Before I get there, I send a mail to Daru asking him to check if the coin locker is still occupied. The door to Moeka's apartment is unlocked. I find Moeka hugging her knees in the corner, just like she was when I first found her.
IBN 5100を入れたのは右下のコインロッカーで合っているか？
なぜ？
And we win a prize. Hooray!
IBN 5100が入る大きさのロッカーはあそこには3つしかなかった。そのうち一番下のみが使用中。
Hooray for process of elimination. Also we have a mail. And it's from Daru. Found it. Checked. The big locker on the lower right is in use. What's this about anyway? Don't make me your errand boy so early in the morning, fool. Angry emoji. Daru, you are not Mr. T from the A-Team. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. You are not Mr. T.
もしお前が一番下に入れたというなら FB はまだ IBN 5100を回収していないことになる。
Well, that is a huge sign of relief. Even though we can't technically get our hands on the computer itself, it is so very close.
この意味がわかるか？
Unfortunately, that means that CERN haven't picked it up yet, which is very hopeful for us. So now I'm going to end the episode here, and when we return, adventurers, it appears that we're going to have to tail the rounders to FB's location, or hopefully find FB in the act, opening the locker and taking the IBM 5100 to deliver to CERN himself or herself, depending on who FB's actual identity is. As always, until next we meet, we are so close.